Hey guys, it's Sharma again, and I just said I'm working on that. I am at my counselor's appointment, and I got here a little early today, so I've been thinking about something. This is more of a message to parents who have experienced stillbirths, miscarriages, loss of infants. Today, I've been thinking about the triggers that come along with that, and there are triggers everywhere. When I first went out after I had Levi 11 weeks ago, I experienced so much anxiety, so much stress, so much pain. Everywhere I looked, there was a pregnant woman, there was an infant, baby clothes. I mean, everything is a trigger. And 11 weeks later, triggers are still just as painful as they were the first time I went out. When I first started leaving my house, when I found the courage to do that, I noticed this overwhelming anxiety that I had when I would leave my house, and I didn't want to go anywhere. But I have two other kids. I have to go to the grocery store. I have to go put gas in my car. I have to keep going, and I had to go up to my children's school. My younger son has special needs, so I talk to the nurse and the teachers a lot up there. And so just leaving the house was hard. So those of you that are just coming along on this journey, I'm still new. Like I said, I'm 11 weeks out, but those of you that are just a few weeks out or a couple days, just give yourself time. Like I said yesterday, time never heals this pain of losing your child. But there is other women out there, other parents out there who have experienced this that you can connect with, and that has been my saving grace. So going back to the triggers that are the hardest for me are seeing infants still, and seeing women that are pregnant. And when I see women that are pregnant, it bothers me that I think this, but I want to tell them about the possibilities. But at the same time, I don't want to scare them. But I feel like when I was 35 weeks pregnant with my son, I felt like I was in the clear. I felt like I was gonna be okay, that I was gonna have a baby in 5 more weeks or less, because he was measuring pretty large. And at 35 weeks, he was just an ounce away from 7 pounds, so he was a larger baby. But you feel like that far along in your pregnancy, you're past the first trimester, you're past the second trimester. I think even early on when you lose a baby, you still don't believe it, and you still are crushed because you don't think it could happen to you. But stillbirths are so common. It's 1 in 160 babies. So there are women all over this country, in other countries, other cities, that are going through this, but it's so taboo. We don't talk about it. And then when you go home with no baby, there's not a lot of support. You're like, what just happened? I've been carrying this baby for months, and I come home to these baby clothes, this bassinet where my baby's supposed to be sleeping right next to me, and I'm no longer pregnant. I don't have a baby to hold. It is very heartbreaking, and I don't think people understand until you experience it. And I do not wish this on anyone. I mean, I can think of the person I hate most in this world, and I would not want them to experience this horrible grief. Saying that, when you lose a baby, your heart becomes more tender, like I said yesterday, and you have more patience for people around you that are hurting. So, to the women who have lost their infants, their babies, miscarriage, stillbirth, infant loss, pregnancy loss in general, just know that all of your feelings, your anxiety when you leave the house, your obsessive crying every day, the loneliness even when people are right there with you, it's all normal. And you will cry all the time, and it doesn't get better. And I've met with women who are 3 years out, 6 years out, they still are struggling. They're still crying. You don't forget your babies. So, for those women that experience triggers, I'm sorry. It's a horrible pain. Just know that there are so many mothers and fathers and parents around you that have gone through this. And you're not the only one. You're not alone. You have to grieve the way you're going to grieve. Cry. Scream. I've screamed in my house alone many times. I've stayed in bed all day after my kids went to school because I couldn't get up. It's just, there's triggers everywhere. And so, to the people that are around those parents, if you have an upcoming baby shower or are recently pregnant, please be gentle with those parents that have experienced this great loss, because if they can't come to your baby shower, you have to understand that. If they can't come see your new baby, you have to understand that. This loss is tremendous, and to be considerate is a huge thing for people that have lost their babies. They just want to hold their babies. They just want their babies back. And to see babies and pregnant women all around you is very hard. I had a friend today text me to tell me that she's pregnant because my son is going over to her house tomorrow, and she knows how hard it's been, and she didn't want me to just walk in and see that she's pregnant. And that meant a lot to me, because the pain is still there. And to be surprised like that, or for someone to announce their pregnancy right in front of you, like in person, is much harder to take than, getting it through a text. So I really appreciate her for that. So just, if you're around those people, be considerate. Don't ask them to plan a baby shower for you. Don't expect them to be super excited when you announce a pregnancy, or to be happy when they're around you and your baby, because just being around people with babies is difficult. I went to my great niece's first birthday party a few weeks ago, and I just sat there and watched her eat her first birthday cake, and it brought back so many emotions from the first day of losing Levi, because you plan to have your baby's first birthday. You plan to see their faces when they're eating their cake, and to think of all those memories that are just gone. I'm not going to have those with him or Lola. And so just going to little events like that, triggers, they're everywhere. And so those of you that are around us, be gentle with the triggers. And those of you that are going through it, allow yourself to be surprised and to be upset by the triggers, because it is normal and it's going to happen, and you'll get through it. I've gone way too long on this video today. It's 10 minutes now, and I need to get into my appointment, but just surround yourself with people who care about you. Talk about your babies. Get counseling. Go to support groups with people who have experienced the same kind of loss. And take medication if you need it. I'm not ashamed to say that I have needed medication to get through this first part of my journey without my children. So get the help you need, surround yourself with love, and it'll be okay.